So, last we left off with you all after serving your detentions in the library and coming out of that strange and dark room. Eliot has just mentioned that, well, if there's a Heim at the school, that means someone let it in.
Let it in? You can't possibly be saying that another student or a teacher would bring in something so evil.
There's no other way for them to get past the protective enchantments.
Well, if it takes dark magic to make a Grimlock, does that mean dark magic has to be used to summon it? And who would at the school? Who would do that?
I don't know. Most people kind of avoid me around the school, and I don't really know anyone besides Madame Violet and you guys.
Avoid you?
Yeah, they think I'm some brainiac who got in to the school and is higher than thou. I mean, I may be young, but being 16 at a university is kind of tough sometimes.
Why? Are they mean to you?
Yeah.
Well, that's not fair.
Is it
Yeah,
that
but-
Evie girl?
She's one of them, but I just try to stay away from. It's more another guy named Malachi and his cronies.
Oh, I don't think we've met him.
You don't. Be glad you haven't.
I don't think I do. Is he one of those bullies?
Yeah. And actually, come to think of it, I kind of know a way to get away from bullies. It's a battle magic spell and forbidden to be used on other students, but it saved me a couple times.
I want to learn it.
Do you want to learn it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
What kind of? Is it a charm? Is it a?
It's
It's
a spell.
actual battle magic.
It's called the Knockback Spell. The incantation is Rependo.
Pendo.
And
All right.
what does it do? Does it like actually knock them back?
Yeah, it feels like a heavy blow.
I definitely want to learn that one.
All right, everyone is going to roll a strength saving throw.
18.
Natural 20 plus. -2 in strength. 18.
10.
Would everyone else get 10?
15.
My die is stuck. Give me 1 second. Ten.
All right, so Marcella, Maeve, you both succeed in successfully casting the spell, and you can add it to your spell book. The other three, you do not successfully cast the spell, but you can always obviously practice it later on your own time to gain that spell in your spell book.
Is this a first level spell or a cantrip?
Yeah, it's a first level spell.
Okay. How did
Anything-
you learn this? I'm sorry.
Anything going forward is going to be a first level spell or more. What did you say?
Oh, how did you even learn this spell? I guess you learned it because of bullies, but did somebody teach it to you?
No, I just like to read a lot. I've read like half the library already. It's only day one.
If it is restrictive magic, what kind of book did you read that in?
You know, just a spell of battle magic. You'll be having those classes in your later years.
Oh. Well,
Well, thank you for teaching us.
Yeah, just be careful not to use it to other students. Like, it's like forbidden to attack another student.
Oh, okay. Well, what if they attack first?
I mean, then I guess that spell can be there to save your life. But violence is not the option. Running away and hiding is also good too.
Oh, I know that one well. Okay.
I think Eliot taught us this if the Heim shows up, not to use on other students.
I mean, that's fine. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I have any bullies yet, so I'm just gonna keep my head down and, you know.
Also, Eliot.
Yeah?
To think about your bullies. Yes, you are young and 16 and very bright. I think they bully you because they have jealousy of your intelligence. They couldn't themselves get in at 16. I couldn't. You have to think of them as getting angry at themselves and turning it out towards you. But I understand it still hurts you.
You
And I'm
see
sorry.
a little snow cloud above his head form, and it starts to snow as he blushes deeply. Thank you, Maeve.
Of course.
Well, I suppose you all want to get back to your beds and everything.
What
It
about
has
you?
been an awfully long day.
Maeve, can I talk to you for a quick second alone?
Yes, of course. Is everything all right? And she walks away, walking towards Eliot.
He kind of takes you around the corner of one of the bookshelves, and he pulls something out of his bag, and it looks just like a black book. And he hands it over to you, and he says, "I found this in the room that we were just in, and it had your last name on it, so I thought it might be important to you or something."
Oh, it's just a book with the name Vane on it. That's very peculiar. Thank you for sharing this with me. I'll look into it and see what I can find, and I'll get back to you.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And you
And
guys, yeah, go ahead.
she tucks it away in her little bag, and she shakes it off. She smiles, and she turns the corner. She's like, "Have a good night, Eliot. Try not to stay up too late. We have much learning to do tomorrow."
He's holding just a stack of books in his arms, and he just softly smiles with a little boyish smirk before you guys head out of the library. As you head out of the library, you hear a horrible shriek coming from the history department.
Was that a ghost?
Didn't
Oh.
sound like it.
It sounds like somebody needs help.
Yeah.
Let's go. And Cadence will run in that direction.
But curfew.
Elizie follows after Cadence.
So,
Okay.
as you guys tear off towards the history department, you see a first-year girl with blonde hair. Both it's tied in pigtails on either side, and you can see that her arm is cut open and bleeding blood, and she's like, "Help! Somebody help me!"
What happened?
She turns and she points off towards a hallway. Back there, someone enchanted some type of armor, and it's attacking anyone who goes past.
Oh.
Well,
Okay.
you get to the infirmary.
Yeah, I'm on my way. Be careful.
Okay. Good luck.
She tears off out of the way, and then you turn the corner and you see this hunk of enchanted armor barreling down the corridor with a giant sword. Roll for initiative.
Oh god.
Ooh, good dice today. Good dice.
So 20 through 25, 15 through 20,
18.
19.
Oh.
15.
Ingrid, then Maeve, then Cadence, and then 10 through 15, 5 through 10,
7.
6.
Marcella, followed by Elizie, followed by the Armour. Ingrid, you're up first.
She will pull out her wand, and just quickly cast Igneo.
Let's see. Must make a dexterity saving throw.
Yes.
X. All right, so this blast of fire erupts from your wand as the flames ignite the armor, and it takes some damage there. Oops. There we go. Okay, up next is Maeve.
Maeve is going to cast Severo, and the dex saving throw has to beat a 14.
It doesn't hit, or it does. It doesn't make the cut.
Okay. It's still half damage.
Okay. No, it takes full damage. It didn't. It didn't win. It didn't succeed.
Oh, I misunderstood you.
Sorry.
Okay. Let's see. 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 4. 10 damage.
10.
Mhm.
So it the spell slashes off into the enchanted armor, getting a nice hit to it. Next Cadence.
Okay, Cadence is going to cast Severo, and if it's possible, I would like to cast it at the hand that's holding the sword to see if I can sever a finger or sever the hand or get him to drop the sword. And that is a DC 11 saving throw.
So it succeeds.
It succeeds? Okay. So half damage?
Yeah.
Okay. And that is... Sorry, 1 second. Damage.
So you cast out the spell, and you see the spell slice through its arm that's holding the sword, and the arm falls off and the sword clinks to the ground, but then it magically reanimates itself, and a hand goes back to the body with the sword in hand. Marcel.
She's gonna cast Igneo as well.
Dexterity.
Yeah. What is a dexterity against? Like my spell saving throw, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
What you roll.
Okay. Wait, as a d20?
Yes.
Okay. So that's a straight 18.
He does not succeed.
Wait, I thought that the spell save DC was something.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, you're correct.
Okay.
The spell save DC is 8 plus your spellcasting modifier plus
Plus proficiency.
14.
plus proficiency bonus, yeah.
It still doesn't beat it.
Nine points of
9
damage.
points. Okay. Or
I can
big
count.
hit. Next is Elizie.
Okay, so I'm also gonna cast Igneo. Do I need to roll a d20?
It's whatever your dex spell save is. So it's probably the same.
Do you have your spell save DC calculated?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's tricky at first.
Spell save.
It would be under spellcasting.
It's 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your intelligence modifier.
Okay.
And then that's what you'll use if you cast a spell to see whether or not it the enemy fails or succeeds the check.
You said 8 plus your proficiency plus your intelligence.
Yeah,
so it'll be 8 plus 2 plus whatever your intelligence mod is.
15.
13,
15.
15.
Mm-hmm.
You got a nat 20. This is going to take half damage.
Okay.
Is it 3d6, right?
Mm-hmm. For
Okay,
Igneo, yeah.
I got it. 3, 5, 6, 7, 7 minus 4, 3 damage. Okay. So it's definitely on its last legs, that's for sure. Let me see here. So the creature, the animated armor, immediately goes after Maeve with its attack. Plus 4 to hit. 11, 15.
It beats it.
Okay. 1d6 plus 2 damage. So 4 points of bludgeoning damage. So it basically runs up and rams you, and you get pushed up against the wall.
So 4 points of damage?
Yes, bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Back up at Ingrid.
She will. I mean, the only thing she's got is Igneous, so that's what we're gonna cast again.
So I got a 14.
My spell save DC is 11.
Okay, so it beats it, so it takes half damage.
Do you want me to
3d6.
roll?
I got it.
Okay.
2, 4. So as it blasts up, you see the fire kind of hit the animated armor. And then how would you like to finish it off?
I hate doing this part. I'm not
Plastic
that great.
City.
Hate it. It's a celebration.
All right, so she's going to see it like go after Maeve, and she is going to I don't fucking know. She's just going to like steady herself, and she's going to cast it very confidently, Igneo, and aim for the center of his body.
Okay, so the
That's
flame,
all I got.
it works. It blasts into the animated armor, and then the armor starts to heat up, and then it melts into a pile of just black ooze.
Oh. That's off-putting. It's like squid ink.
Ew.
Before you
Wait.
can really talk about it, you guys scurry off into your dormitories, afraid of being out before late. Once you're back in your dormitories, you finally have time to catch your breath and talk about what just happened.
Thank you so much, Ingrid. I could have been toast.
Just trying to keep us all safe. I didn't really like that creature being around.
Guys,
Are
what
you
was it
okay?
made out of?
Yes, some rest, wouldn't hurt.
I thought it was a toxic substance. Didn't one of our professors tell us that toxic substances tend to be black and gooey or something like that?
Well, Professor
Kern.
Kern?
Kern.
Kern said that something happened in one of the halls, I don't remember which, but a chest magically, I think, attacked a student, and it left behind something black and gooey, and he had it in a test tube for class. That's why he was running late, remember?
Oh yeah, good point. So
Should we tell Professor Kern tomorrow morning?
Probably. Yeah.
What if we get in trouble, though?
Oh, that's
I don't
true.
I don't see why we would get in trouble, and we should tell him about that thing in the mirror too. I know Jupiter didn't want us to, but this is all getting kind of creepy.
We're supposed to be safe here at Wakefield. This is nothing what I expected.
I don't feel super safe.
And the mirror me and Jupiter put in the closet. We'll be fine.
The closet in our room.
I mean, we
don't
can
like
put
it.
it somewhere else.
We should put it in Evie's room.
What? No,
What?
that is out. That is out of the question.
Yeah, I'm not disturbing our future queen. I want to be in good relations with her when I get older.
Fine. It was a joke anyway. But it would be kind of satisfying, wouldn't it?
I
We
think
can't go
you
down to
seem
her
like
level.
the only one really butthurt about this.
I'm not butthurt. It wasn't even about me. I didn't like the way she was talking to Maeve.
Well, I
And-
didn't like it either, but you must rise above these things.
I'm gonna get her back.
Oh, please
Good
don't.
luck. Have fun with more detentions.
I won't. I'm not gonna do anything extreme. Guys, come on. I'm not gonna
I
jeopardize
believe in
my
you,
time at
Cadence.
Wakefield.
I believe in you. You just have
Thank
to
you.
be smarter and faster than she is, and you'll get her.
We can do it.
You can do it.
Thanks.
Well, if you're done plotting, I best get out of here. I'm gonna go. I think I have some bruising and maybe a little bit of blood on me. I'm gonna go shower and freshen up for first thing tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Good night.
As for telling Professor Kern, maybe we should keep it a secret because we were out past curfew, and I don't want to get any more detentions.
You guys are crazy. I don't want these dark, spooky things lurking around us.
But
You
just
can
because we
tell
tell
them.
the professor doesn't mean that they'll go away. And we might get in trouble for it. I think we should find out more about what's going on and then decide.
I mean, I guess we have been able to take care of everything on our own. And
Yeah.
it's not like we even really have that many spells.
Do you really think that something strong enough to conjure true dark magic is going to be so easily taken out?
Are you asking me?
Just everybody. I mean, it's mostly rhetorical, but
That's true.
Well, I mean, I guess another thing maybe we should think about is, do you think all of these things are connected? Like, or are they just coincidences? Because there was the chest, there was the thing in the mirror, there was that room we found with Eliot, and then there was the armor. And so I'm just saying, since we've been here, oh, and the thing in the woods.
it's the second day of, our second day at a magic university. Did you really think that everything was just going to be normal all the time?
Well, no, but I didn't think that in our second day at university, we would have already had 5 really spooky things happen that we're not allowed to tell the staff. That's a little weird.
I think it could be either or, but I don't think we're gonna make any more progress tonight, so I'm gonna head to hay. And Elizie walks off to her bed.
When you go into your bedroom, you see Jupiter sitting on her bed, cross-legged with like books and things all around her desk. And she's like with her wand in the air. There's these little like glowing marbles, just like almost like her head is a planetarium, and they're just like swirling around them, like her head is a solar system or something like that. But as soon as like you walk in, the marbles, her concentration drops, the marbles fall to the floor, and they roll under her bed. And she goes, "Oh, hey, you're back from your extension. How was it?"
It was eventful, surprisingly. But
Really?
yeah. It's kind of a long story, but have you ever been in a room in the library where you just felt like you almost go back in time?
Hmm. There's lots of magical things that happen in the library for sure, but no, I can't say that I have before.
It was the weirdest thing. It felt like we were transported back in time. And then after detention, someone enchanted an, a set of armor to attack students.
Oh my gosh, that's horrible. Are you guys all okay?
Someone was injured, but Maeve is she's a little beat up, but she'll be okay. And Ingrid gave it the final blow, so we're gonna talk to Professor Kern, I think, soon. Maybe not tomorrow, though.
Okay. Just be careful who you talk to, like,
You
because
don't think that's a good idea?
I mean, obviously it's good to get help for someone so astute and so knowledgeable, but I'm just worried that if something like that happens, they're going to launch a full investigation. We get separated as friends, and then they ask us all these questions, and then maybe they possibly expel us from Wakefield. And who's to say that if you do tell a professor, that more and more people will know, and they're going to look at us weird.
All definitely to be taken into consideration. But there are a lot of moving parts on this vehicle, and I'm not in charge of any of them.
Understandable. Oh, I am tuckered out. I'm turning into bed. Good night, Elizie.
Good night.
She tucks away her books and stuff into her bag and then falls asleep pretty quickly. Maeve, you gather your shower caddy and you head down to the dormitory, shared co-ed showers. There's no one there. It's pretty empty for yourself. As you are in the shower and lathering up your hair and just letting the day wash off of you, you hear a whisper, and it's from a deep voice that says, Maeve.
She turns around and her heart beats a little faster. And she finishes up quickly, rinsing out her hair and her body. And she turns off the shower, quickly wraps herself in a towel, and she looks around. She's like, who's there? She doesn't have her wand on her.
The room gets very chilled as the candles and the oil lamps start to flicker and dim, as the entire shower room just becomes this frigid, icy type of room, similar to when the Heim originally was there. Yeah.
She notices the intense change of temperature in the room since she took a hot shower, and she quickly puts on her little sandals and grabs her shower caddy, still dripping wet, and she runs out of the bathroom.
The door is iced shut.
She drops her shower caddy and she starts pounding the door. Help! Is anybody out there?
From behind you, as you're pounding at the door, not looking back, a figure appears in the far back corner in the shadows as the candle lights turn off. And as this shadowy figure steps forward, each light going away as it steps closer and closer. Then finally, as you're pounding on the door, you feel its presence behind you. But as soon as you turn away to face it, nothing is there.
Is it still dark?
The lights come back on, the candle lights burn, the room becomes humid and warm again, and the door creaks open.
She quickly picks up her shower caddy. She looks around her once again, and she books it back to their room 408.
From that, you all drift off into a sleep, and you regain all health points, spell slots, all that stuff every time you go to sleep for that. That is specifically in your dorm room.
So sleeping in our dorm room is a long rest.
Correct.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Before we start the new day, spell slots. How do they just work like normally? Are they any different?
So at first level, you have 2 spell slots.
Okay.
Think of them as mage bullets.
And
You're out
you
of
can,
bullets, you're out of bullets.
and the preparing spells, don't worry about that. If you know the spell, you can cast it to that amount of spell slots you have. Because typically
Okay.
you have to prepare that spell per day. So if you knew, one spell, but you needed another spell, but you already
Mhm.
prepared the other 2 spells, you wouldn't be able to use it.
Mhm.
But in this instance, as long as you know it,
Mhm.
it's in your spell book, you can cast it at any time, as long as you have the spell slots available.
Okay. I was just wondering because I didn't know if it was any different than, you kind of did your own thing
Right.
versus D&D. Okay. All good. Continue to next day. Also, wait. Hold on.
Yes.
Maeve is going to, as soon as she gets back into the room and gets dressed and she sees everyone else is passed out, she's going to climb under the covers with the Black Vane book, cast Lumos, and try to read
What's
the book.
that?
Sorry. Lumio.
The book is just blank parchment. It's like a diary or a journal of some sort.
Okay. She unequips it. Lumio. She puts the book under her pillow and goes to sleep.
Perfect. I'll be right back. I have to go pee. So if anyone else needs to take a quick break, so be it.
Might as well.
Right. Feedback.
All right. So following morning, you gather your things and you head down to the dining hall for breakfast. Do you want to role play anything here?
Maeve is currently on edge. She hasn't said anything this morning, just because her shower fiasco last night very spooked her out. So she's being quiet. She's nibbling on her, English muffin, and she is looking at her textbook for her upcoming class of History of Magic.
Anybody else? What they're doing that morning?
Wasn't there homework?
Cadence is like eating a blueberry muffin with her hands and like shoving it into her mouth as she's like frantically taking notes, and she's like, wait, no, there wasn't any homework.
It was practicing Revelius.
Which we didn't do. The tension got in the way and all the other crazy things that happened, which I really don't think we should tell anybody yet. I think we should keep it to ourselves. I don't think Professor Kern should know because teachers won't be there to help us when we're older.
Well, I think we should tell people, but also I feel like the 5 of us have been through a lot, and I kind of think of you guys as my friends, and whatever we decide to do, if you guys feel the same way, I think we should make a decision as a team.
Definitely. But just so you guys know, when I told Jupiter about what happened last night, she didn't think we should tell Professor Kern either.
So you're just walking around telling everybody else willy-nilly?
She's our roommate. She's gonna find out eventually, whether it was for me or anyone else.
Not necessarily.
Well, she
I
did
mean, if
already.
you're so worried about telling a professor, why are you telling another student? You don't know who talks.
Well, she knew about the thing in the mirror either way. But I kind of agree with that. If we have to make a group decision about telling anybody, it should be about telling anybody.
Okay, we can do that.
But I think we should tell people, so it's scary. I don't like it. And we have taken care of everything pretty quickly so far, but what if something comes along that we can't take care of? What if one of us gets really hurt? We need somebody that knows what they're doing.
Like who?
Like a professor.
But that means we have to go get them. If like we are in danger, there's no telling which professor is the closest either. I mean, if we yell for help, hopefully the professor comes and helps us. But
Nobody came to help that girl that was screaming except for us. That's kind of what made me think about this.
maybe this is some sort of like weird hazing ritual by the teachers and the older students. Make like weed out, like thin out the herd.
Elsie did say it could be a prank.
I don't think it's a prank.
Maeve, do you think we should tell somebody?
I feel like we should talk to Professor Kern because he knew about the chest and the black goo. I don't think other professors would be so proactive about it. But definitely don't bring up the Heim.
As you guys are all talking, two girls, very pretty girls that you recognize to be Evie's friends, approach her table, and they're like, "Have either one of you seen Evie's bag? It's like totally missing."
Is it?
No.
No.
Okay. Well, if you see like a really pretty purple bag with like emblems of like red ruby jewels on the side of it, please let her know. She's really worried about it.
Yeah, of course. We'll let her know.
When was the
Cool.
last time she saw it?
Last night when we were going to bed.
Oh. Do you think somebody came in there and stole it? Oh my god, it's so scary.
Well, if someone did try to steal it as a way of getting back at Princess Evie, it'd be in very poor taste. There are very important things in that bag.
Why would anyone need to get back at Princess Evie? She's so nice.
I don't know, maybe the same person that called her a bitch in class yesterday?
Well, she is a bitch.
Well,
Stop.
okay, well, I'll let her know that.
Okay.
We'll
We
definitely
haven't seen
look
the
out
back,
for
but
it.
we'll keep an eye out for it.
Perfect, thanks.
You're welcome.
And she starts walking away, but the other girl, the redheaded girl, she just kind of stands there and she's just like, "Hi, my name's
Hi.
Daphne, and whatever they say goes, okay?"
All right.
Also, how do you spell orange? People are saying there's no D in it, but I'm really confused about that.
Oh, there definitely is. Orandje.
D-J-E, okay.
You got
See-
it, girl.
Okay, thanks. Bye. And she turns around and you see like her skirt just like really pushing the dress code limit as she skips away and she goes to sit at another table of like the pretty preppy girls and Evie and some of the other classmates in your year.
Are our skirts supposed to be that short?
No.
I think I saw her butt. And that's new for me.
You've never seen a butt?
I mean, I've seen my butt. I had seen it twice now. Since I've had a butt for 2 days.
What do you mean you've had a butt for 2 days?
I normally have a fin.
Yeah, but... Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But also, you should still have a butt.
I mean, it's covered in scales.
More of a rump as a mermaid, but
Jupiter
I mean-
comes over and she like slams her textbook down on the table with a piece of toast in her mouth. She goes, "Your whole school is talking about that dumb bug, and I'm so sick of it." And she, like, sits
Maeve
down
reaches up
abruptly.
and like she grabs the toast again.
Thank you. The whole school is talking about this damn bag, and I'm sick of it.
About what?
Oh, Evie's bag.
Oh. We should find it.
Why?
Why
Lead to more
not? Think
trouble.
of all the fun things we could do. I want to go through her stuff, don't you?
I just want to stay out of
No.
it.
I want to go through her stuff and maybe cast a stink spell on it.
Do
You don't even know a stinks one.
I will go to the library right now.
Eliot
Well-
might know one.
While you do that, it looks like we got 15 minutes to get to class, so good luck with that. And
No.
Evie finishes up and she's like, done, and or all done or
Evie
whatever
does
it is.
this.
You said Evie.
Maeve does this. We've been talking about Evie too much. Maeve does this, and she grabs her bag with her books in it, and she makes her way off to Magical Beginnings, or Magic Beginnings 101.
When Maeve gets up, Ingrid also gets up and kind of like shoves her chair in a little bit hard next to Cadence, kind of like stares at her for a second and then follows Maeve.
They're right. We should get going and oh god, not Thal. What damn was my name? Mar. What is happening? Mar kind of gets up, tripping a little bit over her feet, and scurries after them.
That's okay. The reason it took me so long to get out that sentence was because I was trying to process not only Ingrid's name, but also Cadence's.
Okay, well, Tara will. Cadence kind of jolts when that happens, and she watches Ingrid walk away, and just with sort of like a frown, pretty sad face, and she looks a little bit hurt. But she closes her books and gets up and takes her last bite of her muffin, and follows them to class.
For the duration of your Magical Beginnings class, it's just revisionary work. So this is your second chance to try to master the Revelous spell. So those who have not mastered it, go ahead and roll a d20. Which
How many times do I get to
for
roll
intelligence.
during this class?
Twice, once per hour.
Okay.
You said roll a d20 and then what? What else?
It's an intelligence check.
19.
Oh, nat 20! Sorry, got excited.
15.
Okay, and Elizie?
10.
Okay, so Maristella and Ingrid, you master spell and you officially have it in your repertoire. Cadence and Elizie, you have another hour to practice the spell, so you can roll again.
God, I'm going to be in trouble if I don't start figuring this out soon.
What's it called again?
18.
11.
So Cadence, still you do not have proficiency in this spell. Everyone else does. The spell can be located on the login tab under Magical Beginnings class.
Thank you.
For information. Yep. But after that, class was dismissed without too much interruption. Just a revision day, basically. Your next class is History of Magic.
Maeve's attitude completely changes, and she's a little giddy as she's like has a little pep in her step as she's walking to History of Magic. She looks back. She's like, "I am so excited. I have read all about Quinn Mana Weaver. I am so excited to take this class."
Well, I've never heard of her, so I'm excited.
Oh, she was a renowned mage that basically in early times, thousands of years ago, basically she researched the history of where mages come from versus, the Union Church. And honestly, she's the reason why we have history today.
Wow, she seems pretty cool. I need to get to know
have,
her.
Like a cool sidekick.
I don't think I remember reading that.
She had a blind companion, and Cadence is following behind the group. She's got a pencil in her teeth, and she's like using a different pencil to take notes. And she's like kind of struggling to carry everything because she's just a tiny halfling, and her bag is overflowing, and she's got all her books and her muffin, and she's like struggling to take notes.
Do you want me to carry some of your books? I have arms.
I got it. But no, yeah, she did. Blind companion.
That must
That's
have
pretty
been
cool.
so difficult.
So gliding through the halls, you arrive in the history department, where you were last night when the animated armor had come to life. You see no remnants of the black ooze at all.
Wasn't this where, Rar happened? Or Clink Clink happened?
I wonder if someone cleaned it up.
Do we know who the janitor is? Because maybe that would be a good person to ask what that black ooze was.
I have no clue. I haven't seen a janitor at all. I thought maybe this magicked itself away.
Well, yeah, but somebody has to cast the spell, right?
Unless the school casts the spell. Remember Eliot said that the school kind of changes? I think the
Oh.
school might be like cognizant or something.
I guess that would make sense.
The school sees us naked.
Keep things to ourselves. We can find out if anyone else is talking about it first.
As you find your classroom and take your seats, the professor, a charming blonde-haired and middle-aged human, appears from behind his desk. My name is Professor Stella, and I hail from the north in a place called Arendelle. While magic is widespread, Arendelle doesn't take too fondly of mages, believing them to be monsters. Now, before I forget, the professor says, as he throws his newspaper on the nearest student's desk and reaches for his wand. Take a minute to review our class rules and syllabus, yeah? And now with his free hand, Stella flicks his wand and a flurry of paper swirls around the classroom and a single page settles on each student's desks. Now we're on the same page. As you can see, we're going to be taking a look into all things Mondays have wrong. It's not their fault, mind you, the professor adds with a glare towards a few students who are loudly snickering. Honestly, given the tools that we have, or lack of, I suppose, they do a pretty damn good job of figuring things. He smiles smugly back at the students who seem to quiet down. That's exactly why we're going to be covering today. How and why is that we, the magical community, have a deeper and better understanding of our history than our Monday counterparts. Don't give me that look. I know what you're all thinking. Magic, professor, duh. Sure, that's the gist of the answer. But I wouldn't be a professor if I didn't have something more insightful, eh? First off, the life of a mage. In general, magi tend to live longer than Mondays. With that comes an increased knowledge and better understanding of the world. Additionally, what might take, say, 6 generations of Mondays to pass down some significant event has at one point spanned less than 1 generation for us magic folk. Word of mouth can be a deadly thing. And the fewer generations there are covering events, the more accurate things tend to be. Also, unlike Mondays, the magical community has kept ties with one another and have very clear ties to our past. This means that even when Monday civilizations have fallen, magical kind has hidden away and lived peacefully despite a generally tumultuous world. This also means that we haven't experienced anywhere near the same kind of loss as Mondays in the terms of destruction of cities, loss of populations, and more. All of this is to illustrate why we simply have more records of the past. Now, not only do we have better access to history, but we literally shape Monday history. Of course, it's going to make more sense to us when we purposely twist the truth for our Monday friends. Whether they like it or not, magi have been shaping the Monday understanding and perception of the world for centuries. Sure, it's for our safety, but Merlin knows that even I would be lost if I was getting my memory wiped at every turn. Can anyone tell me about a time where a Monday memory has been altered for the safety of ours? Yes, go ahead. And Stella says to a boy who gingerly puts up his hand in the front row. He smiles, hoping to encourage his participation. He realizes this to be Eliot. I believe one more interesting casting of the memory erasing spell was the Arendelle incident. Stella nods and Eliot continues more confidently. The Holdra folk used it on Princess Anna to modify her memories of magic. Yes, that's right. And what an unfortunate incident for all involved, and it is clear why, for the safety of everyone involved, that her memory had to be altered. While this may not be information passed to the people of Arendelle, the hidden folk keep those records and has been passed along through the weave. Now there are perhaps other events where the memory erasing spell has occurred, but this next one directly relates to a student who came here 450 years ago. A hush goes throughout the classroom. He called himself Malistaire. He had another name, a mortal name, but he erased any memory of it to those who he encountered. He was not a very good wizard in the sense of his morality scale. No, he was perhaps one of the most gifted elves in all of Everas when it came to the weave. Magic came easy to him, and he soon grew a following of other students, and even a professor here at the school. He called them the Grimsmen, for their dark deeds had turned them into grim-looking people with gaunt skin and skeletal faces. After he had killed another student, he was expelled, of course. Almost a half a century later, his body has never been recovered. That isn't to say that he's still out there, for even an elf cannot live that long. Now there is one other dark elf that had played into this, and his name was, and he looks across the room. Yes, Miss Vance.
That'd be Xavier, correct?
Exactly. Xavier was the one who was cast from the Tonellian Society for his belief that Oknos had been wronged. He wasn't the only one either. He took his band of followers deep underground into the Verminia caverns, and this is where we get Dark Elves. Their city, Alderthorn, still lives to this day, though many Dark Elves never reach the surface because... And he looks around the room again. Yes, Miss Vane?
Can I roll for insight or
Yeah.
history?
Yeah, roll history.
14. Hold on, wrong thing. Plus 6, unnatural 20.
Okay. You know that they never reach the surface because of their aversion to the sun.
They're not able to go to the surface at all. They have an aversion to the sun that will hurt them.
Exactly. Exactly. Good job, Miss Vane. You see, Malistaire was obsessed with Xavier, believing to be a descendant of him, and took every bit of information on Xavier's history and took it with him after he disappeared. The students in the room all look nervous as they take their notes. Well, there's no need to worry yourselves, as this happened a long time ago. But before class ends, I will remind you that the past can have a way of returning if you don't study history and try to right those wrongs. A bell chimes in the distance. Well, class time is over. I look forward to our next lesson. Have a good day, students.
When Maristella gets out of class, she's gonna like pull everybody like to her and like whisper, be like, "Isn't it kind of weird that Malistaire's name got kind of mentioned within like 12 hours of each other?"
Well, he's a big part of history, and he's a big part of this school. So I feel like he's, Professor Stella's bringing him up, so we right his wrongs, and it's an echo of mourning, basically. I wouldn't read too much into it.
You know what
Come
I
on.
think is weird? Is that his body was never found.
Well,
don't think he became a lurk.
magic can, if you cast too powerful of magic, it can eat you up from the inside out. But let's go. We have divination to go to.
As you're passing through the history department, Cadence, go ahead and roll a perception check.
Nine.
Due to your size from the ground, you notice behind one of the display cases, there's something tucked behind it.
She will slow her steps, and it catches her eye. And being naturally curious, she'll kind of trot over there and lean down to see what it is and pick it up.
You see that the display case has been jostled a little bit as dust on the ground kind of is moved up. It's a display case of different awards and trophies and things like that all throughout history. And you see a bag, a purple bag with red rubies engraved onto it. And there seems to be a dark red liquid on the outside of it, stained.
At first, she gets kind of excited and is like, "Ooh, that's the bag." But she sees the liquid and she's like, "Guys?"
Turn
What,
back.
Cadence?
Shh.
Cadence, sorry.
But I think I found Evie's bag. But And she'll reach down and she'll pick it up, trying not to touch any of the goo. She'll hold it up. Look.
It's blood.
I figured, but
Yeah.
look.
Oh.
Why is there blood on it?
I don't know. But why would it be shoved behind the trophy case?
I don't know. Maybe you should just shove it back.
Well,
Or maybe you can make amends with Queen Evie or future Queen Evie. Not
You can call her
throw it.
Princess Evie.
fine, but I do want to go through her stuff.
With all that
That is an
blood
invasion
on
of
it?
privacy.
I mean, I'll just take a quick peek. And she'll set it down and she'll open it up and go through the stuff inside.
I am not a part of this, and she's gonna step way the fuck back.
What do
You
you
see-
hope?
Maeve is with Mari.
So is
Or with Mark.
Ingrid.
What are you hoping to find, Cadence?
Nothing. I'm just curious.
About?
I don't know. Maybe there's something we could use against her. And she'll look through Evie's stuff.
What about the blood on the front, though? Have we seen Evie in a while? Is she okay?
Saw her
Maybe.
at breakfast.
As you
In there?
open the bag, you see that she just has like her student handbook, her textbooks and things. Nothing seems out of the ordinary except for a small canister with a inky black ooze inside of it.
Cadence grabs it and pulls it out. Look.
Wow, what is that?
It looks like the same stuff that came out of the armor. What if she's been behind all of this whole time? I
Well,
wouldn't put it past
Always
her.
going up for that?
It's that or it's squid ink.
I think we should. I don't think so. I think we should take this to Professor Kern.
Hold on a second. You found this by going through her stuff without her consent. She's supposed to be the future queen. You're only asking for more trouble.
Well, we'll just tell them that we found the bag and it was open, and this was on top.
You can tell them that if you want. I think the smarter move is to take that knowledge and see what else we figure out.
She could be
I'm
playing
s-
us.
I'm
Who,
staying
Evie?
out of this. I'm off to divination.
Good idea. And
Right behind you.
How much time do we have?
Not much.
Well, I can't just carry this in with me.
Put it back in the
Ingrid is
trophy case.
already walking to the next class. She's like,
Yeah, we
yeah,
had like
no.
30 minutes. Just take it with you. She's probably in our next class.
It's all covered with blood. Can Cadence stuff it into her own bag?
No.
No, it's too big.
Cadence, you should just leave it. Someone else will find it and give it to her.
Leave it in the middle of the floor, and someone will definitely find it and give it to her.
It
But put
just
the
feels
ooze
like-
back.
Fine, but I'm not leaving it in the middle of the floor. We'll come back for it later, and she'll put the ooze back in, and she'll hide it back behind the trophy case, and then go to class.
So you head through the halls, and finally you reach the landing of a spiral staircase, and you breathe out a sigh of relief. You feel like you've gone up a long, winding way up to the highest tower. And then finally, a tall oak door stands before you. Gently, you push it open and enter the dimly lit room. Before you is a circular room with high windows and 2 raised levels all about the room. Soft color silks adorns the walls and rich covers cover the aged wooden floors. Looking around, you see small rickety tables with 2 or 3 mismatched chairs grouped around them, lining the 2 raised levels that encircle the room. Quickly, you choose a table in the front and sit down. A dark-skinned woman enters the room from behind the last few students and silently shuts the door. She comes before the assembled class and perches herself lightly on the edge of the wide desk in the center of the room. Her long, bright purple robes and brown eyes flash merrily as she begins. Welcome, students, to Divination. My name is Professor Hellburn, the previous oracle at the Magisterium, says the woman as she pushes her long hair out of her face and turns back to her students. With the flick of her wand, long ribbons shoot out of the tip and form the words on the chalkboard. The most divine magic. Now, who can give me definition of divination? The professor asked her wide-eyed class as she scans the room quickly before pointing to a dark-haired and handsome boy in the back. Archer Emerson, is it? Ah, yes, my vision sees it now. Can you provide to me an answer for the class? The boy jumps in his seat as he hears his name and mumbles something unintelligible under his breath before clearing his throat and responding with, I think it's like when you use a crystal ball and, look at it. With a pointed look, the professor flicks her wand so that the letters on the board form the words. The practice of seeking knowledge of the future or the unknown by supernatural means. No, that was incorrect. Please do not doze off in my class again, Mr. Emerson, unless you would like for me to write to your father, King Henry. Now, all of the rest of you, please copy this down and we will begin. As the definition states, divination is the art of seeing into the future through using multiple supernatural means. Palmistry, augury, lithomancy, and scrying are examples of excellent forms of this art. Though it may seem simple in this textbook, divination is one of the most complex and difficult subjects in the magical world today. It also is the subject that remains the most mysterious. Although we understand the basics, quite a bit of the future is still uncertain, and even the best of seers can make incorrect predictions. Professor Hellburn pauses for a moment as a tall girl in the front with thick bangs raises her hand. Pardon me, Professor, but what exactly is an oracle? Asked the girl. Smiling, the professor chuckles. Oh, I was hoping someone would ask that. An oracle is a magi with an uncanny ability to see the future through the multitude of different methods. I can sense there is one other in this very room. Now, one of those such a gift as an oracle is what I like to call an echo. The incantation for this spell is Messentia, which roughly means my essence.
The adjective
An echo. Stop. An echo is similar in that it reveals something about a previous user of an object. It is not as precise, though, as the echo extracts only the strongest connections to said object, so it may not reveal the exact last person to interact with this object. When the gift is performed correctly, a brief mirage will emerge from the target object depending on its use. This gift can be really useful in determining more qualitative data about objects, such as what a person has used it. So, like, our kitchen staff's cookbook back at our castle would show them reading it? Asks Archer incredulously. His brows are furrowed. Precisely, she says with a grin. I think you've got that down. Let us stop here. Please, take an object from this box, she says as she lifts a crate onto her desk, and try to summon an echo with it. Remember, the incantation is Messentia. You may do this until the end of class. Good luck.
If we learn this spell, she says quietly, maybe, Cadence, you can figure out who put that bag there.
Yeah, it'd be nice to learn at least one spell.
Yeah, but you were the last person to touch it.
Oh,
But
She's
if you
gonna show
remember,
you.
it's whoever has the strongest connection to it, so it might be Evie.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. Either way, I just want to learn something.
Well, let's try.
Okay. Messentia.
Everyone roll a let's see, this is a wisdom saving throw. Sydney, you get to roll with advantage because of your innate abilities.
Cool, thank you.
22.
I got a 22 too because I got an 18 plus 4.
And you
I
said
could-
it's a wisdom saving throw?
Yes.
Or no, I got
19.
21. Sorry.
What is it? 19?
Mm-hmm.
16.
15.
Everyone but Elizie and Cadence are able to gain proficiency in this spell.
How long do we have? Do we? can
That's
we
it.
roll?
Yeah, it's only 1 hour long. Yeah. Obviously, again, you could always practice this on your own time. You just have to allot for 1 hour to practice the spell. Obviously, it's not instantaneous. All the others are getting the spell. They're just practicing over time through the hour. Then eventually, at the end of that hour, they gain that spell. Ah, yes, I see that some of our students are correctly incantating the Messentia spell. Good, good. Now, listen. I would like for all of you as homework for this evening is to have yourself a glass of tea at dinner this evening and really hone in on the true art of divination. Now, enjoy the rest of your day here.
Do you think she means leave the tea leaves in the cup? Or, like the book says, or just drink tea?
That's kind of what I was thinking.
It sounds like a lot of fun. I wonder what kind of job I'll have when I'm older. I really hope it's the one I want. I'm not saying anything because I don't want to go like wishing on a star. If you tell your wish, then it won't come true. So, yeah.
Oh, well. Looks like the day has come to an end for us.
Well, now we have the rest of the night to, explore the castle as you wanted to do. Go to the library.
Oh, and we do have to grab ingredients for alchemy tomorrow, I believe.
Oh, we do. We can't forget
Um,
that. We go to the grove.
I'm gonna go back and get Evie's bag.
Are you going to go see Professor Kern?
Not if you guys think I shouldn't.
Did we ever make a decision on that?
Well, let's put it up to a vote. Everybody who votes no, raise their hand.
And this is only for Professor Kern. This doesn't mean we tell everybody, but just maybe that we tell one person.
We told Jupiter, and then Eliot also knows some stuff too. That's 2
Right.
people.
I guess
But that's it.
one person who could help us. Really. I say we tell Professor Kern.
I say we do as well. He had information about the black goo before, and he is a little scary, but he seems at least a little honest, and he's, I think, one of the top professors here.
I don't know. I don't
I'm
know if we should or
also
not.
unsure.
What if it is a prank? What if it is somebody trying to scare us?
And then we come off as tattletales who already have had detention.
What if we get expelled?
I don't
Well-
think we're going to get expelled for merely finding something.
What's your
That's-
vote?
We're only telling him about this and the night thing. We're not telling him about the H thing.
Okay, I'm cool with that. We can do that.
I vote no, but I'm overruled.
I vote no.
Well, majority rules.
I vote yes.
I think we should.
Just about those things, not the H.
As
Oh,
long as you don't tell
I'm not
him.
gonna. Yeah, I won't tell him anything crazy. I'll just tell him we've seen some spooky stuff, and I found Evie's bag, and this was on top. He can figure the rest out. Okay.
Or he gave it to Evie.
Well, if that's the case, it's no big deal.
Okay.
But I think I want to go tell him.
Do you want us to go with you?
It's up to you.
Well, since we are friends, and you did stick up for me against Evie, I'm willing to have your back on this. Let's go to see Professor Kern.
Thanks, Maeve.
I just need to know what happens, and I don't think you're in the wrong.
Okay. Cool.
All right. So you head down to the potions department of the school, and head into Professor Kern's classroom. Well, there's doors actually shut at this time.
Cadence will knock.
The door like abruptly opens, and you hear, "Thank you, Professor. I really appreciate it. I won't let anything else happen." And she turns, and you realize that it's Evie with her bag over her shoulder. "Oh, looks like your remedial lessons are here." And she like looks down at you and then walks away.
When she walks by, Cadence is gonna hold the bag out just enough to get a smudge of blood on her clothes, hoping that she doesn't notice.
The bag is like her bag is no longer blood.
The one in my hands?
You didn't get it.
I said I went back for it.
It wasn't there.
Oh, okay, sorry. I'm so sorry.
You're okay. That's she like has it over her. She has her bag
Okay.
with her as she's
Okay.
leaving the
Well,
classroom.
then never mind.
Yes. What can I do for the five of you?
Mara's like saying way back with Ingrid, like way in the back, trying to stay in the shadows hidden.
Hi. There's some stuff we wanted to talk to you about.
Okay, you have my attention.
Well, remember how you were telling us about that chest someone enchanted?
Yes.
We found some armor that was enchanted too. And it turned into the same black ooze you were telling us about. And then, well, I saw it in Evie's bag, and she had that black ooze in her bag too.
He looks at you with like furrowed eyebrows, like very like concerned. And then he goes, "So what you're saying is Evie had her bag and there was black ooze in it?"
Well, it was a little bit weirder than that. And I promise I'm telling the truth, but we actually saw Evie's bag in the hall, and it was covered in blood. And that black ooze was in there, and then it was gone, and now Evie has her bag back. And we felt like maybe you were someone we could talk to about this who might know what was going on.
Interesting. That you have come to quite some serious accusations, Miss Rose.
What? What accusations?
That you're insinuating that Evie has something to do with this.
I'm not insinuating anything. I'm just telling you that we saw the black ooze a couple times, and then there was that spooky thing in the mirror, and then we found it in Evie's bag.
Spooky thing in the mirror?
Yeah.
I mean, you saw Evie's bag. You saw Evie's bag on her, right, Cadence? I feel like, you've been having a hard time lately. Maybe you're just more worried about her than you thought you were. I think we can handle this from here, Professor. So sorry
I'm
to
not worried about
bother
Evie.
you.
One moment, Miss Phoenix. I appreciate your introduction here, but this is a serious matter. Did it ever perhaps cross your mind, Miss Rose, that I had asked Evie to look into this further, as her knack for potions was quite outstanding on the day one of classes, and I had personally asked her to look into this matter?
Actually, yeah, that did cross my mind. One of my friends said that, and I was hoping that was the case.
Yes. The accusations you have on Miss Evie, whatever it is for, needs to stop.
I'm not accusing her of anything. We've just been kind of scared, and I thought maybe you would help us.
This matter is not for first years like yourselves.
Well, it's affecting us. We got attacked.
Attacked by
Twice.
what?
With the armor.
Do you have any proof of this happening?
Maeve's beat up, and she'll point at Maeve.
Only some bruises, but what she is telling you is true about the animated armor. But if you have already gotten everything and all of the information from Princess Evie, there is no longer a reason for us to be here. We apologize for interrupting you, Professor Kern.
There was one checked in last night at the infirmary, Miss Elodie Graves. She says that she accidentally cut herself on an armor and the sword in the history department. You couldn't possibly have been hallucinating this attack?
That's not true. We went over there because we heard her scream, and then she was running down the hall asking for help because she said the armor attacked her. That's a lie.
Please explain to me why a patient inside of an infirmary with an open wound on her shoulder would lie about who her attacker was.
I feel like you're really coming after me like any of this is my fault, but honestly, I'm just trying to figure it out. We thought you could help us. I don't know what she was doing. We went to help her, and we took care of the armor. And then it turned to sludge, and then we found it in Evie's bag.
Your tone with me, Miss Rose, is completely out of line. As I said yesterday in class, your grounds for expulsion will be turned into the headmistress this evening.
No, it won't. No, don't do that.
No, you have not only accused another student of possibly having some type of insinuation.
No, I didn't.
You did. When you came into my office, you said, hey, we found Evie's bag and she had this black ooze in it, and then we were attacked and there was the same black ooze. How is one not to assume that is what you're insinuating, Miss Rose?
I'm just telling you those are the two facts. I thought you would help us. I thought we could trust you. I looked up to you. I wanted to learn potions from you, but...
It is clearly that potions is not your strongest suit.
Professor Kern, we must be leaving now. We apologize for this. And Maeve, kind of bows her head and, she grabs Cadence's arm, not hard, but, softly to pull her out of the room.
She pulls
As
her
they-
arm... Go ahead,
Go
Elizie.
ahead.
Go ahead, Elizie.
Oh,
Or Sydney, sorry.
no, it's okay. I was just gonna say as they leave the room after they leave. So if yours is before that, go ahead.
Okay, she's gonna pull her arm out of Maeve's grip and go over to Professor Kern. Listen, I'm sorry if I upset you. I really am not trying to. I'm just scared and I want to learn about potions and I really don't want to be expelled. Please give me another chance.
Then you will do well to hold your tongue. Do you understand that, Miss Rose?
Mm-hmm.
I have given you plenty of chances to do so, and you have yet to show me this.
I will. Just don't expel me.
The expulsion recommendation will be removed, but academic probation sounds more important. You'll be doing advanced studies, independent project I will be giving to you tomorrow in class.
Okay, I'll do it. I'm sorry. Just don't expel me.
And your detention this evening will be deworming bezoars.
I don't even know what that means. Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it. Just thank you. Okay, thank you. And she'll run out of the room.
When they get out of the room, as the door closes, Ingrid is going to kind of snidely say, you guys obviously don't know the repercussions of telling secrets.
Telling secrets. We were merely trying to get help from a professor. It turned out poorly, and we're sorry, Cadence. We should have never even thought about that, and we know from the future. Come on, let's get you all set up, and let's hopefully get you everything we need from alchemy. So tomorrow when we have that class, it'll be smooth sailing.
Yeah, I gotta study. I really thought maybe he would help us. I don't know. I guess I should have known better. It's fine. This is all starting to scare me.
Well, I'm confused on why he won't help us.
did.
Freaked out about it.
Did it seem like I was accusing her? Because I really wasn't trying to. Everything I told him was just true.
I mean, I can see it from his point of view, but you would think a bunch of first-year students telling him that sort of thing would... He told us that it was above our pay grade, right? That it's not for us, and then...
It's just because she's a future queen. Everybody around here kisses her ass.
Well, we kind of have to.
Well, I'm not gonna. I mean, I will in Professor Kern's class, but not in my heart.
Well, I'm going to do the best to kiss her ass all I want because I do want a future job in my own kingdom.
I'm not from here, so I don't care.
Well, I'm not from here either.
Where are you from?
Nautica.
Nautica? I don't know where that is. But I'm from Vilbin.
Cadence, you would know that Evie is going to become High Queen of Valen.
Oh, shit.
How you have beef with the future queen? I'm sure you'll be fine.
I'll be
Maybe,
fine
like,
without my
enemies
head.
to lovers.
You think she would go for it?
And
Because she
maybe
is
that's the
kind
lover
of
part.
cute.
Like enemies to friends, maybe. She's with Archer.
Ugh, I don't think I could be friends with her.
As you guys get back into Hackett Hall, some students are just kind of gathered around studying on benches and talking, conversing, and then up on the high, like, grand staircase, you see Evie, her girls, and Archer from Divination class, all like kind of like almost like in the center of attention, where you can kind of hear Archer like echoing, "But come on, Evie, like, don't you think it's gonna work? I mean, I'm a future king, you're a future queen, like, it just makes so much sense." And Evie, she's Archer, I want to date you if you were the last man or woman on this planet. I will rule by myself. Thank you. You can go shave your back now. And the girls behind her like giggle, and Archer like walks off with a couple of his boys. And Evie like rolls her eyes. She goes, anyways, so she decides to come and visit me on our special lessons with Professor Kern. I don't understand what she has to do with me. She wants to call me a bitch one day, and then now she's like obsessed with me or something.
Cadence, come on, let's go. We have to go to the forest before it gets dark.
And before your detention.
I'm gonna get back at her, and she'll stomp out to go get her homework.
All right. So you guys exit out of the grounds, exit out of the castle, and head out to the grounds of it just to get a breath of fresh air, deciding what you want to do next.
Well, I think the grove is our best bet to get those ingredients we need for alchemy. But this might sound weird, but do you think we should maybe tell Eliot about those?
Well, what's a 16-year-old kid that sits in the library all day going to do about Ooze?
He might not do anything about it, but he might know something about it. Maybe after, we go to the grove and grab everything we need for alchemy, we can go to the library while Cadence goes to detention.
Maybe we don't tell him about the ooze, but maybe bring up a black substance that's thick or runny and stuff like that. It kind of disappears, and maybe he just knows the book that we need because he is very well read.
Well, Professor Kern did talk about it in class, so it's not a secret.
No. We don't want to scare him. Did kind of at him with a kind thing too.
He does
Yeah.
seem kind of skittish.
Maybe I'll just look by myself tonight.
I'll help. I mean,
Thank you.
we both have shelving duty sometime this week too.
For our jobs?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm so glad I'll be able to work with you.
Yeah, I really do like books, and these ones aren't wet, so I'm excited to read different things.
Well, what kind of reading do you like? And she asks as they start walking towards the woods.
I'm like kind of like Jupiter. I really like astronomy, the stars, and all the starfish in the sky.
Oh, okay. Well, if I happen to know any titles or, think of any, I will be sure to recommend you some.
Thanks. That'd be pretty stellar.
You guys eventually make your way into the Witchwood, and you find the grove that Jupiter had talked about previously about finding ingredients. For everyone there, go ahead and roll a nature check.
Nature.
I love my dice. My dice are so good.
My dice are stinking.
15.
Oh, no.
So that's a nat 1.
18.
11.
Okay. So as you go around the forest collecting your ingredients for the next lesson, Ingrid, as you stare at a good berry tree, you are like, I need the sap. Not the slime, not the juice. I need the sap. And you collect that in your ingredients. Where everyone else, you collect all the correct ingredients.
Do any of us see or notice this?
You are all kind of like spread out throughout the forest. But you can roll. What's your basic perception? Passive perception. You need a beat of 14.
A 9.
My passive wisdom's 14. I don't have passive perception down.
I thought it was the same thing.
It is the same thing.
Oh, it is? Oh, mine's a 14, so I don't know if I'd see anything.
I'm 12. No way.
Also 12.
Okay, so yeah, Maeve, you do see Ingrid do this.
She walks over and smiles, and she's like, "Oh, Ingrid, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, that we need the tree slime, not the sap. I believe that if you get the sap, something horrible will happen."
Ingrid,
like,
you fully
stopped-
believe that it's the sap.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Okay. Is she able to look at her book, or does she does that not count because I rolled in that one? I'm just gonna get the sap regardless.
Yeah, you don't have your book. No one brought their books out.
Okay. She's like, yeah, okay. Thanks. You can. I got this. It's okay.
Okay, I was only trying to help. And she finishes up collecting her things and puts it in her bag. She looks around everybody, and she's like, "Are we all ready to go?"
You can try to roll a perception or not persuasion.
Okay. Natural 20.
There you go.
Thank you.
Maeve kind of presses on. She's like, "No, I'm very, very certain." And she pulls out just a crumbled piece of paper that she had scrolled down a note. She's like, "Oh, I forgot. I had this." And she hands it over, and it's circled the tree slime.
See,
And you
it's right
believe
here. I wouldn't try to steer you wrong. I promise you that.
She kind of gives her a long look over, and she kind of takes the piece of paper and examines it and then hands it back and okay, I guess I'm just a little overwhelmed with all of this knowledge. I'm sorry. And then she will collect the not sap.
The slime. Okay. You collect all your ingredients, and then you head back to the campus grounds.
Do you guys wanna take some time to maybe practice some spells?
Yeah, of course. Do you need help with anything?
I'm really struggling. I just can't get these. It's like everything else going on just has me so distracted. But I haven't figured out Revelio yet, and I couldn't get Messentia either.
Well, let's start with Revelius. I kind of have a knack for spell work, but I
In
can
the
definitely help
distance,
you.
you hear the bell chimes that it's 7 o'clock, meaning that dinner is being served in the dining hall.
Oh,
Obviously, you
Well-
can do whatever you want.
let's go get dinner real quick. And, I know your detention's at 9. How about after you get back from detention, we'll sit and I will personally help you with Revelius.
If you're okay to stay up that late, I would really appreciate it.
Of course.
Cadence, do you want to stay and practice spells? Because I still didn't get Messentia either. We could practice.
Maeve, would you maybe get me a snack?
Yes, of course.
If
I'll
you
grab.
just take a snack back to our room for later, that would be fine. I can go hungry. Elizie, are you gonna be hungry?
Yeah, now that you mention it, we should probably eat food.
We'll have a,
We'll
we'll have a little study date when everyone gets back into the dorm rooms tonight.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I do kind of want to eat.
And plus, remember, we're supposed to try to see the tea leaves
Right.
at dinner.
Yeah,
I'm
tea
excited.
sounds pretty good.
You head back into the castle and head to the dining room, where you scarf down some delicious roast and potatoes and vegetable soups and other things just warm your tummy. And about an hour or so passes as you're all dining and things like that, and it becomes around 8:15-ish.
Can Ingrid get some tea and attempt to and not like I don't know if she does she even have the ability to really do much with it other than just stare at it and try and become
tell you-
one with the
Yeah,
the
absolutely. So you get yourself a cup of whatever tea it is that you prefer, and as you let it simmer and then take a sip of it, it's hot, but it tastes sweet and floral. As you almost go off into a trance-like state, where you see this just the cosmos and swirling clouds, as your head just fills with constellations and just magic energy itself, and then you hear, before you're snapped out of this divine intervention, basically, I didn't know there was another. Before you're snapped back to dinner.
Was the voice familiar or no?
Not at all.
Okay.
Well, did it work? Did you see the future? I didn't.
I don't know about the future, but that was pretty cool.
Did you see something?
It was like all of the stars and just being in the universe.
Huh.
And I heard somebody talking, but I don't really know what they were talking about or who it was. Who knows? This is our first year. This is the first time I've done this. It could be completely false or not relevant.
But it affected you. That's amazing.
What kind of flavor tea did you use? I got rose tea.
I think I grabbed the Moongong tea.
Oh. Well, maybe that is tea. The show's wrong.
It's pretty good.
Elizie and Cadence, you guys are not at dinner, correct?
No, we did go to dinner.
Oh, you guys did? Did you drink the tea?
Yeah, I picked the moongong tea, but I'm kind of sick of it. That's all my parents ever drank growing up. And as far as the leaves go, I should look and see.
For the next hour, you get advantage on trying to practice the Messentia spell, a divination spell.
Nice.
Maeve also tried to drink the tea, but I assume nothing happened. And she looks down at her tea and she's like, maybe it looks like a snake?
Maybe we just don't have the gift. I don't even have mine just like rose petals. Like, I don't know what this is. A flower?
Maybe it's your snake. Maybe your snake's in danger.
Oh, well, don't say that. Eden's usually quite well. But I'll check on her as soon as we go off to the library.
I did try and drink the tea as well, and when I looked down at my leaves, I saw nothing. I don't know if I'm doing this wrong, guys, but I'm not seeing anything here.
You also get advantage on practicing the Messentia spell for 1 hour. Advantage means you get to roll the d20 twice and take whatever the higher roll is.
Elizie, I have a little bit of time before detention. Maybe just for like a half hour we could practice together?
Yeah, that sounds great. Let's go.
Okay.
The half hour will take away your advantage. It does have to be a full hour to practice the spell.
Well, I'm gonna give it a try.
Okay. Elizie, obviously you have a full free day, so you can roll twice.
Okay. Yes, I will take the full hour.
What'd you get?
Not one.
As you cast the My Essentia spell, your teacup just bursts.
Oh, Cadence just lays her head down on the table.
Oh, dear.
Take a little rest. I'm done. I'm so done. I hate school.
Stick with potions.
Yeah, I think that's a smart choice.
I
Too bad the teacher hates you.
The bells chime that it is 8:45.
You better get going to detention.
Yeah, I'm going. I'm just gonna gather her stuff and hurry to the library.
I think Mara
Oh shit! No, that's right. I have to go. Do I have to?
She goes to the library. And the bells chime 9 p.m.
Oh my god! Wait, I have to go deworm the things. Where are the things? Where were they? Oh shit!
Marcel walks in and be like, I don't think your detention's here tonight.
No, it's not. But I have to. I don't remember what he said I had to deworm and where
Roll
they were.
history.
This is not going super well, guys. 11.
This is what D&D is about.
You vaguely remember having to meet Professor Kern back in his classroom.
Jesus Christ.
She saves off 10 minutes from arriving, but thankfully as you're trying to get to school a little more, it only takes about a couple minutes to get there, but you do suffer from a point of exhaustion for sprinting there the whole time.
I'll take it. She runs in, sweating. I'm here. I'm ready. I'm ready for your attention.
You're late.
Hey, I'm sorry. It's been a long day. Okay, where's the things, the worms?
You'll be deworming bezoars. I've placed them all on this table. Your detention is 1 hour, Miss Rose.
Okay, and how do we deworm?
Well, and he pulls out a box of these like amphibious-looking creatures swimming in a tank, and he puts on gloves and takes one out. He dabs like just a little tincture of some type of potion on its tongue, and it falls asleep. Then he presses on its stomach as you see these tendrils come out of its butt. And then with clamps, he pulls them out, and you see this just like disgusting looking parasite. And he plops it into a jar. You will need to finish this entire tank this evening.
Cadence turns like a light green color and just watches this in silence. Mm-hmm.
Well, you may begin.
She'll
Roll
put
for
on-
performance.
She puts on the gloves and gags. Oh, gee. That couldn't be too much worse, I'm not gonna lie. Performance a 3.
So you put on the gloves, you pull out one of the creatures, and as you press on its stomach, you reach for the worms with your gloved hands. And as you pull it out, the worms like attach to your hand and like tendrils. And Professor Kern, Miss Rose, I said to use the tongs.
Mm-hmm.
He goes over and he whips out his wand and he casts Severo, and the worms like just shrivel up as they're being sliced open, and blood like oozes out of them. I was needing that for the 3rd year lesson. And
Well,
he throws it away into a trash can. Try not to mess up again.
believe me, I'm trying. Ugh. Well, lucky for you, I think there's plenty more. And she'll squish the next one and use the tongs.
All right, so she continues with her detention. Now, where's everyone?
Maeve in library.
Library.
I'm also in the library.
Okay. So you guys head back to the rows and rows of books inside the library where other students are practicing for the exams, wands waving, and desks are all lined up with upperclassmen studying already hard at work. But the library is yours.
Maristella, I know she's going to do something different because you guys are going to look, but she's going to look for Eliot first.
Roll an investigation check.
Okay. Sorry, a moment. Dirty 20.
So you go around the library looking for Eliot, and you see him in a back alcove of the library, just in an armchair with books stacked high on either side, as he's pouring into a large tome up against the window.
She's going to like kind of silently creep over and knock on like a hard surface like a bookshelf nearby him. As if she's like entering a door.
He like immediately like looks like he's like this, and then he like immediately peels up from his book. Oh, hey.
Hi. Quick question, because you're just really smart. Do you know any books about black ooze or any black substances at all that you can
There's
direct me to?
dozens of books of black oozes.
Maybe from like Enchanted Armour?
Enchanted Armour?
And chests?
I don't know why those oozes would have been on Enchanted Armour or chests. Without further investigation, there's so many types of oozes all throughout the world.
Yeah, that's true. Never mind. And she like scurries off.
Oh, okay, bye. And he goes continue reading.
Maeve is going to look in a section where they have mystical beings or things of that nature.
Roll an investigation.
Stats. 16.
So you go to look at a book, like, oh, look at that, a book about mystical beings, and then you realize there's another book next to it, and then another book next to it, and a book above it, and a book below it, and then you realize you're in the mystical beings section. You're at a school for wizards.
She will look down. She will go down her search. Whittle it down, and she'll do ominous or dark creatures.
As you peruse the section, you see like a couple books about darker creatures, and as you like pull them off the shelves, you're like flipping through the pages, and there's nothing like or like too dark in these books. Nothing is coming up with your search.
You did mention the restricted section.
And Elizie is looking for a mysterious room or to see how the library is set up this time.
The library seems to be in its normal state. How long do you spend looking for it?
30 minutes.
So you pass by books about botany, alchemy, divination, transfiguration, all different types of sections of books. You pass through corridors, some lavatories, some little alchemy labs and alcoves, but that mysterious room does not appear for you.
Okay, well, when I don't find it, a book about toxic ooze jumps out at me and I pick it up, hoping maybe I'll get lucky.
So roll an investigation check.
Nat 20.
So the book that you have, you pick out just like it's a book of like toxic plants, slimes, saps, oozes, and things like that. How long do you spend reading it?
45 minutes.
So at this time, it's about a little after 8:30, and you hear, the bells chime for the library to be closed once you pick up the book.
Did you say why?
The library closes at 8:30 every evening.
Okay, so I can't check out the book?
You can attempt to.
Okay, I'm gonna attempt to check out the book.
You go up to the librarian's stand, and you see this ghostly spectral figure as she is sorting books onto a trolley, and she turns around. She says, "Oh, hello, dear. What can I do for you?"
I'd like to check this book out, please.
Sure. I will need your student ID, please.
Okay, I'm searching through my bag, and I find it and hand it over.
She runs it over, and she takes out a quill and she starts scribbling down your name and information and the book that you checked out. And she hands it back over. This will be due in 3 days.
Got it. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
You as well. Listen, all other students, please, the library is closed at this time, so please put away your books or check them out at this time. Thank you.
Maeve, go ahead. She goes ahead and since she was picking through her book, she didn't see anything that would possibly be the Heim. That she puts all of her books away, and she looks a little defeated as she walks towards Elizie. Did you find anything?
Yeah, I found this book about toxic ooze. I feel like there might be something here.
Yeah, that could be possibly it.
You want to see it? Here it is. And I hand the book over to Maeve.
Well, I say we go back to the dorm, put on a spot of tea, and dive into it.
Yeah, sounds great to me. Let's go.
All right.
Wow.
As you. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Well, Mara's gonna. She didn't end up finding a book. She kind of like sulked, not sulked, but like kind of like felt defeated, and she's gonna get up and like try to find her way out of the library after the others.
So you all head back to the dorms and gather your things. And after a couple minutes, Cadence comes in dripping in sweat.
Are you okay?
So sweaty.
Feeling a little woozy, but otherwise just fine. And she will go immediately to a bathroom, hop up onto a stool, and wash her hands.
Okay, so she leaves the dorm, goes to the communal bathrooms, wash her hands, she comes back.
Okay. Yeah, I am fine.
So how was the deworming?
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting, putrid, rancid, gross, any word you could think of. It was awful. It's fine. It's over.
It's
Do you have
good
to do that
practice.
again tomorrow?
Well, maybe this will settle your stomach. And Maeve, as soon as she got back, she started getting a pot of tea ready, and she gets I don't know how she would do it, but she would magically do it. Maybe there's a little stove area in the dorm.
There's a small, little kitchenette area with a little bit of a fireplace where you could hang a tea kettle or cauldron.
Okay, thank you. And she brings it over on and puts it on the table, and she pours everyone a nice cup of chamomile tea to calm everyone's nerves. And she sets it down and she looks over everyone. Do we want to study our wands first or dive into that book?
Oh, I really want to master Messentia, so I'm going to do that first.
Okay, yeah, me too. And Cadence will look at the tea and it reminds her of the tank water and she does not drink it. But she will get out her wand and practice the spell.
While everybody is practicing that spell, Ingrid is going to sit on the couch, kind of in the corner. And does anything happen when she drinks this tea?
No.
Okay. But she's just going to sit there and quietly sip it and watch them.
Okay.
Marcella's
It's like a
going
book open on her lap that she's just kind of leafing through. Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Marcella's going to stare up out the window at the stars, kind of curled up with the tea.
So it's mostly about the pronunciation of Messentia.
Okay. Well, what do you recommend?
Speak it slow. Speak it with meaning.
Okay.
Because that's all what spell work is about. Passion, what you feel in your chest.
Okay. I get out my wand and I say Messentia.
You could roll your. It's only going to be one wisdom saving throw at this time.
Or
The spell fizzles.
Oh, it's Messentia, not Messentia.
I thought I had it for sure that time.
It's okay. Practice, makes everything perfect. Go ahead and try Cadence. And Maeve has been studying her history book, as well as pausing to look up at them and to help them out.
Okay.
14.
So your spell still fizzles. At this time, it's about 11 o'clock at night.
Well, if I do this any longer, I might go insane. So I'm heading to bed, guys. We'll definitely have to look into that book tomorrow. And she
Okay.
looks at Maeve when she says that.
Of course.
Good night.
Good night,
Night.
everyone.
Night, guys. I'm gonna stay up for another hour and try one more time.
Well, I will be off to bed. Don't stay up too late.
I hope it's worth it.
Ingrid passed out on the couch.
But
Her like empty cup of tea like half hanging by like a loose finger, and like her book pages kind of like leafing back and forth in like any type of like breeze from any movement in the room.
Maeve actually goes over. She sees her before she walks into her room, and she gently grabs her cup and saucer and puts it on the table and closes the book while leaving whatever bookmark she was using back into that page, closing it and putting it on the table. And she gives her a gentle touch on the shoulder. Ingrid.
Oh, did I doze off? I'm so sorry.
Don't apologize. Go get some sleep.
Thanks, Maeve. And she kind of like yawns and stretches and kind of like grunts a little when she stretches. And then she's going to leave her book and her like cup on the table and just like walk to bed.
Jupiter is already passed out in her bed. What did Cadence roll?
A 17.
Damn, one away.
No.
With your spell, you can see the magic there. Like you can see it start to come out of your wand, but then as it gets just a fraction of an inch farther, it fizzles out in a puff of smoke. You're so close.
She will have tears of frustration in her eyes as she finally closes her books and goes to her tiny bed. And
before she does that, Malistaire is gonna like snap out of her like dazed confusion, not confusion, but daze that she's in, and she's gonna be like, "It's okay, you'll get it one day. Maybe you just need sleep."
Maybe this is not exactly what I pictured life at Wakefield to be like. And she collapses face first into her bed.
Everyone else going to bed?
Yes.
Maeve is going to wait for everybody to go to bed.
Okay.
She is going to go once again go under her covers. She is going to cast. Can you cast two things at once or no?
No. You can cast them simultaneously, like one after another, but not simultaneously, sorry, like consecutively.
Okay, she as soon as everyone is like sleeping and it sounds like that, she is going to take a unlit candle, slowly walk out of like softly walk out of the room, not to wake anybody, and go in the living room. She's going to light a candle, and she took the Vane book with her to read on the couch, and she's going to cast Rebellious on it.
When you cast Rebellious on it, the magic emanating from the book, you can tell it is a very old book, and its connection to the weave is something dark.
This is going to be a bad idea, but Sentia.
You cast the spell on the book, and as you kind of flip through the pages, nothing reveals itself except for on the first page. And in scribbled writing, you see, "Hello, Maeve."
She blinks and she says, "Hello," in a whisper.
Nothing happens.
She takes out her quill and she says, "Hello, who is this?" on the page.
My name is Once Forgotten. I cannot write it here, as it appears on the page.
What did they call you?
They called me Malistaire.
She gasps and she slams the book shut. She blows out the candle and she shoves the book at she walks on her tiptoes back to the room. She shoves the book in her bag and she tries to go to sleep.
The camera still stays in the living room as you see Maeve kind of go into her room and the door shuts, and the camera just stays there still with just light sounds of a drizzle coming onto the window. And then finally your eyes adjust and you see a man standing in the corner of the room in shadows before the next day arrives. The following morning at breakfast has arrived. It's another day full of academia and classes as you get your breakfasts and things like that before heading towards your magical beginnings lesson. Finding yourself back in Professor LaFay's class, you find your seats and prepare for another exciting lesson. I hope you have all finished reading about boggarts and understand what a nuisance they can cause for the unprepared mage. It's dry reading, but highly informative. Starting next lesson, we will dive into those creatures. Anyway, we have no more to go on about the Fey kind of this week. Don't forget you'll be having a test on Friday over everything we've covered so far. Now for a bit of revision. The professor heads over to the center of the room and surveys her students. On the chalkboard behind her, words start to appear. The moral divisions of the Fae. Let's bring out your books and turn to section 2 of the first chapter. As you pull them out of your bags and set them on your desk, you flip through the pages and find the right area she was talking about. So there are ley lines that expand across Everas, easily seen by using the dowsing spell. For those who have mastered it, I'm sure you've found it quite useful in discovering the secrets around the castle. Now don't worry, I will give you time in class today to practice again and at the end of our lesson. The popular system of nomenclature for this division of fairy morality is referred to them as the Seelie, good to neutral, and the Unseelie, neutral to evil courts. However, the system is old and archaic, not to mention reductive without nuance. It constitutes an act of astonishing naivety to define what counts as good or evil. Not only for magical beings, but for the mundane ones as well. Is a wolf evil for killing a human when it's hungry? Are the spirits who feed on fear committing an evil act by enticing it? Or are they merely responding to their own evolutionary imperative? And this even takes the added step of presupposing that evolution can even be applied to them. Evil, one could argue, is about a sentient choice. Boggarts, as previously discussed in your reading, tend to be described as morally neutral. They cause small mischiefs in the world, and most of them have an impact as a mundane animal. Of the ones who have human-like sentience, the good or ill that they do, perhaps because of human choice. However, there are also many beings that are actively evil, sometimes so much more that even humans without a sensitivity to the weave can feel their presence. For example, thinking, ooh, this feels spooky about an abandoned mansion, or getting goosebumps when passing by a cemetery. When people say unseelie, what they generally mean are the sorts of fairies that are actively malicious. Those who attack humans for their own amusement and without provocation, for example. The unseelie, too, cannot be considered fair in any sense. They are neither just nor beautiful. The seelie, by comparison, are regarded as generally benevolent, though this is a profoundly dangerous assumption to espouse. In the community of mages, it is extraordinarily easy to find individuals arguing that there is no reason to fear a seelie. They don't want to mess with you, they're nice, they're helpful, they're safe. The seelie are no safer than the unseelie, and to call them nice is to impose an entirely human system of morality judgment upon them, when in actuality, they exist on a completely different ethical spectrum. True, a Seelie will provide a hint of or warning if you are straying too close to the boundaries of propriety and beginning to offend them, but so do Unseelie. It's only that the warnings are subtler and more often non-verbal. It is a similar situation as when people claim that cats are evil because they will attack without warning, though the person being attacked has ignored the lashing tail, the flashing ears, and the soft growls. But regardless of warnings, when we are talking about fairy morality, we never speak about our own actions, and it isn't our own responsibility to behave in a manner that does not offend. Though the fairies have, to our perception, a skewed view of what is right, their logic is often completely understandable when you see things from their perspective. The property trespassed upon or stolen, their home destroyed, the Unseelie comes from their own biases and preconceptions. The Unseelie appear to be human judgment, wild and ragged and impoverished and uncivilized, while the Seelie look like gracious, wealthy nobility, and has more than enough to influence human behavior. The Seelie are polite because we are polite to them, and the Unseelie are cruel because we are cruel first. Now, for the rest of the lesson, please practice your dowsing spells with your partners, and for those who have mastered it, like Miss Vane, and she pauses for a moment, almost losing her train of thought, but then brushes it off, and a few others. Please help your peers with their spell casting. And we'll end tonight's episode there.